So this is just another one of those stories of EA doing something really, really stupid. And look, I don't like being one that just goes after EA, okay? I try to keep things, even when I criticize, I try to keep things relatively friendly. But I mean, this is just an absolute joke. We've seen a push in the gaming industry, well, for these kind of things, okay? Pay to play, live service games, putting just advertisements for other things, like a commercial in your freaking game, right? We've seen that, and this is another example of that. But what's more alarming is that they're not stopping. They're doing it in the same sneaky way they've done it before. So EA has done this before with UFC 4, right? In fact, we just got... Now, I never made a video on this. I actually kind of wanted to, but I feel like the story was a couple days old by the time that I got to see it. And then at that point, other people had done it. This one obviously just happened yesterday morning is when people, first started spreading this around. So I felt like, this is within a good amount of time. We just got done with this, though, with UFC 4, where there were advertisements in there, and people destroyed that in terms of criticism, okay? This, to me, and I'm sure I could find more examples, Crash, actually one of my favorite franchises of all time, the Nitro Refueled, right? That was the first example that was kind of odd, I guess, in the nicest way of saying it possible. Remember when that game came out, there was a store, you could buy everything with in-game money, it actually worked really, really well, and then around a month or so after the game came out, when the reviews were out, and make no mistake about it, they do it for the reviews, they do it so that people don't recognize or notice it, day one, week one when they're playing it, and then they throw it in at a later date. It's all part of probably a psychological tactic at this point, right? That happened in Crash, and if you remember, for Crash, then you could start using, real-world currency, and they nuked the in-game currency. When you completed races, I remember in the first couple weeks, you were earning a lot, and you could buy quite a lot of stuff. Once they made the switch, oh my god, you made next to nothing in the races, and so yeah, they do push you more towards buying it with your actual money. This, with NBA 2K21, oh my god. I mean, so I don't have this game. I'm seeing it, I think, in a lot of ways that other people are seeing it. I'm sure, this game did very, very well. It's a very popular game, but I guess they have an ad for Oculus Quest 2, which appears during pre-game loading screen. So as you load into an actual like basketball match, that's when this plays. And then I guess it says that the ad isn't even as long as the loading screen. So there's an ad that you cannot skip. There's no way of skipping this ad until after the ad is over, and then you can get rid of it. But you have to watch the full thing, and then when that's done, you still have a loading screen to deal with. Okay, and I guess that also, and I think this makes sense, in NBA 2K21, they do offer the option to change your lineups. You can mix and match, right? Again, I don't play basketball. I don't play these games. I play like the NHL games, which we'll have to see. It's one of the only franchises left, right? We don't see it happening yet. As far as I know, with Madden already obviously has its own problems. Now we have NHL that just came out, and I think FIFA too, right? So we'll have to see if they end up doing this. I mean, I'll be able to report upon NHL very, very soon, but this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I do agree with people when they say something like this is fine in a free-to-play game. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Even in the... I don't agree with paying to win. I really don't agree with that in any, medium, because then why did you even, it's just, I think, lazy work. We've seen at this point many free-to-play, even though you look at Genshin Impact, right? That game is blowing up. That game is one of the biggest games of 2020, much like Fall Guys, much like Among Us. It's a free-to-play game. Now, yeah, there is ways that you can support them and give them money, but it doesn't cripple the gaming experience. There are probably thousands of examples of games that are free-to-play that have done it right. Where any of these companies that look at free-to-play and they do it wrong, they could easily have figured out something to make their game, because I just feel like the catch of the game just isn't good enough, okay? And that's only talking about free-to-play games. So, like, yeah, I don't think there should ever be massive amounts of pay-to-win or huge, like, level gating or whatever, like level blocking in your game, and you can only do it if you spend this amount of money or stuff like that. We've moved, I think, a little bit past that. We're still in it a little bit, but that's not okay. But I do agree. I mean, they need money. If you make a free-to-play game, again, you make it, I think, under the, if you're good enough or you're talented enough, I think you make it with the goal in mind that we're going to make a very, very good game that's so addicting, so just fun to play, and we're going to have things in here for us to make money because obviously we need it. And if the whole game works, then it's going to work and we're going to make our money and people are going to be happy with a free-to-play experience. And that is fine for a free-to-play game. In a $70, now remember, this game is a $70 next-gen game. I think, is it only $60 now? I'm not honestly sure, but I know it's going to be $70 when it comes to next-gen. These ads are confirmed. I mean, this is a real thing that's in this game right now on your PS4 and your Xbox One. If it makes the jump to next-gen, you'd be spending, even if you're spending $60, it doesn't matter. Actually, it could be $20, but if you spend $60 or $70 on this game to then get ads for another game, it's just, no, that's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? That just can't, I think, happen. You're already giving them money. There are already, in case people didn't know, there's already obviously ways to give them even more money in these sports games. It's how EA makes most of their money anyway, right? With the Ultimate Teams, okay? And look, I've played hockey. I've played the NHL franchise. I think this newest one, NHL 21, I feel like this is my 12th game in a row that I've gotten, okay? So, I mean, you could call me a hypocrite. You can call me whatever. NHL, I think, has always been the least touched of all of the greed that EA has. But even back in the day, you know, I did Hockey Ultimate Team back in, like, I don't know, NHL 11, 12, 13, somewhere in those early days that I first got into it. I played it, and I think I actually did use real-world money a couple times. I probably gave them $15, $20 max, maybe like 2-3 years in a row with that. So I know how addicting it can be, but I mean, at this point, it needs to stop because you already have that, and that's already bad enough. And obviously, as I've grown, I mean, I was literally a teenager or less than a teenager at that time. I mean, I've matured. I've realized that this is just not a good practice, or again, there's just better ways. They could do it, but there's better ways of doing it, okay? And so that already, to many people, is bad enough. And so now, to throw in another thing, to throw in this, ads, I mean, you just don't, I mean, I get it. It gives them even more money. You see it even on this YouTube video, right? You see an ad or two. I mean, yeah, but I mean, I'm doing this for free. You know what I mean? Without the ads, this is literally like a free-to-play game. Consider it that. I make no money, and I don't have a membership thing. Maybe we'll eventually do that for podcasts now, but as of right now, it's just ads. So I need them, okay? And that's, I mean, I don't really know any other way of describing that or explaining that. They do not need it. They make enough money, I would argue, on the price. In fact, the whole point of increasing the amount of money or the cost that these games are worth is for that, right? That a lot of the complaints, and by the way, I do agree with them, a lot of the complaints are next-gen games, and games in general, have continued to increase in their budgets. They cost a lot. They cost tens of millions, if not hundreds, depending on the game. They can get up there. They can get up to the hundreds of millions of dollars to make these games. And to sell them for $60, and that's been stagnant, that's been the exact same price for like 20-plus years, yes, eventually it's going to have to go up. I'm completely okay with that. But with that being said, I don't want it to go up to 70 to then have Ultimate Teams where you can give them in-game currency, to then have ads be playing in your game to give you even more money. You know what I mean? Like, that's 3 ways of them making money right there. You don't need 3. You're supposed to only need 1. The whole point is to only have 1. And the biggest deal about all of this, too, is the sly kind of tactics that they've done with this, that they've, again, like Crash did. Okay, now that was Activision. Like Crash did. Like UFC 4 did, and now like this did. And those are just 3 examples. I'm sure there's more. They did it a full month after the game came out. Everybody that was going to get it, got it. For the most, I mean, yes, there's going to be other people, and especially with like Christmas and stuff, but I mean, you sell most of your units, I would say the large majority, within that first month, okay? So they've gotten the people already. The reviews already came out a month ago. There's nowhere in there that says, stuff like that. There's nowhere in there that says there's ads playing, because if there were, that would make people very, very mad. So they did it on purpose. They kept it out. They let people, again, be like, okay, this is a fine game, and this is, whatever, and then bam, a month later they put it in where it's like, well, what, you're gonna re-review it, you're gonna put out like an update to your review. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking at the reviews now. No, you know what I mean? Everybody already has it, and so you have people, again, you have the most amount of people that I think you're ever gonna get for the most part, and now you're making more money off of them because you're having the ad, right? insane. It's insane. It needs to stop, and EA is the biggest culprit of this. But again, it's not just EA, and you're seeing in other examples like Crash, Activision does the exact same thing. Let the game come out, let it come out for a couple weeks, even a month, and then we add it. Don't do it at launch because that'll make us look bad. Do it a month later. And so hopefully this is not a trend that's going to continue, because $70 is already enough money that should make their budget back easily. If not, then they're either spending too much or the game's not good enough because it's not selling enough copies. Then, you know what I mean? That's the reason. Besides that, you have Ultimate Team, which is already making money. So they need to fix this. This needs to be changed. This needs to be a big enough story. I think if UFC 4 was a big enough story, this will be a big enough story. And so hopefully they'll take it down, but this time they'll actually keep it down and not do it for, again, maybe like NHL. We'll have to keep an eye on NHL and FIFA over the next month or so, because, I mean, it could happen. You know what I mean? We have to keep our eyes open. So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Are you just as upset about this as I am? What do you think about EA in the nicest of terms? I guess you can swear and do all that stuff in the comments below. It wouldn't really affect the video, but let me know what you guys think. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. We're very, very close to 2,000 subscribers. I think we can do it today or tomorrow, and we're getting very, very close there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do a brand new video every single day, and so I'll see you guys for tomorrow's video.